has stated that the party will support the public protests which are expected to be held under the leadership of Azimio leader Raila Odinga. Speaking at the Jubilee Party headquarters in Nairobi, the leaders have asked President William Ruto to stop the move on implementation of dictatorship in Kenya.
Various leaders from Jubilee Party have made it clear that they will be involved in public rallies provided they are peaceful. Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has asked Kenyans who are discontented with President William Ruto's governance to air their grievances.
Remember also, there is a law that has been presented to Parliament, now headed to the Senate, that is reconstituting the selection panel. And the way it has been done, it is not something that we are happy about. And that also informs the reasons why we still remain part of the process that will be put in place to pressurize this current regime in ensuring that good governance and respect for this institution is upheld.
Kioni also asked the chairman of the Independence Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, Wafula Chebukati, to resign, saying that he is being used by the government to suffocate democracy.
We wish to clarify that the party, Jubilee, is consulting widely with our coalition partners and will support any peaceful and sustained efforts at promoting good governance and accountability in the country. We wish to strongly reiterate that we remain steadfast supporters of Azimio coalition.
In addition, the members of the county assembly in Kisii County pleaded with the ODM party leader Raila Odinga to stop the political protests. MCAs from Bobasi constituency wards, led by Boitangare ward representative Thomas Obare, claimed the planned demonstrations will likely stall development activities.
I can't comment on the planned demonstrations. Personally, I have to say that I've participated in all demonstrations that were called by the Right Honorable Prime Minister. But on this one, I think it's premature, it's unnecessary for the ODM leader to call for demonstrations in this country. We have to put aside the political temperature. We have to tone down the political temperature and allow the current government deliver on its mandate.
Machakos County Deputy Governor Francis Mwangangi, who's a farm Wiper member, says the country is trying to adjust to right track, hence terming public engagements through demonstrations would amount to disruption of daily activities.
Please, our president, please, Azimio leader, please put the interest of this country first. And I think His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka can navigate this and see way out for this country. The church should not be left behind. You prayed for this government. You stood by it. And there they are. The time is not now to leave the government out. Bring all these leaders together. So whoever has anything can bring it on the table. We have that national dialogue, that conversation, then we move forward.
The rallies are expected to start involving Kenyans from major cities in the country. Raila Odinga, who is the rallies organizer, has said the rallies are beneficial to Kenyans, urging them to come up in large numbers. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
All right, I think I need to make two things clear. One is that is leader of Azimio La Umoja, that is Raila Amolo Odinga, will be holding public engagement forums and celebrations for the Jamhuri Day, parallel celebrations of the Jamhuri Day at the Jacaranda Gardens in Embakasi, not Kamukunji, as had earlier erroneously, of course, mentioned there. Also, these are not going to be demonstrations. According to him, it's going to be a peaceful congregations, no protests, no picketing, and this is also guaranteed by the Constitution. So I've heard there a lot of the responses saying that it's planned demonstrations. However, according to former Prime Minister, it is public engagement forums and not protests or demonstrations or picketing. Now, moving back to the Jubilee Party, it is said now that the Jubilee Party will not present any candidates in the upcoming by-elections in Kandara, Garissa Township, and Elgeyo Marakwet constituencies. Secretary General of the Jubilee Party, Jeremiah Kioni, has explained that the decision is based on the findings presented by the High Court, stating that the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati announced the elections without involving all the commissioners in making final decisions in the August 9th election. Kioni said that their withdrawal from the by-election is one way of putting pressure on the Kenya Kwanza governance.
In the process of taking stock following the just concluded 2022 general elections, and we are looking towards restoring our party to its former glory. The party will thereafter embark on a sustained effort to win back the confidence and trust of our people, of our supporters. Due to this ongoing introspection, our party will not be fielding any candidates in upcoming by-elections, namely Elgeyo Marakwet, Garissa Township, and Kadara constituency. And this is further informed by the findings of the Supreme Court that the chair of IEBC acted unilaterally without involving other commissioners in making core decisions of the commission.
All right, now over at the Kenya Kwanza camp, the Kenya Kwanza team yesterday held a National Assembly Majority Party Conference on legislative matters in Nairobi. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who officially opened the meeting, said that the government will fully involve members of parliament in the rolling out of the Hustlers Fund.
Windsor Golf Club today was the office place for Kenya Kwanza lawmakers under the stewardship of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. The DP promised the majority party members of the National Assembly that the government will fully involve them in the rollout plan and progress of the ongoing Hustler Fund.
I am aware that the Finance Committee is vetting the CRA commissioners, and again, we want to urge you to finalize so that that institution is fully constituted to enable government carry out its work.
DP Gachagua also urged the Kenya Kwanza lawmakers to be ambassadors of the fund meant to improve the lives of millions of hustlers across the country, adding that the fund has been well received by Kenyans, calling on the leaders to continue promoting it during their December recess.
The Hustler Fund has been rolled out, and the President wants, when you go for recess, to continue explaining to our people the way it is operating, and most importantly, to urge them to pay. You have heard these characters from the other side of Azimio telling people to borrow the money and not to pay, which is very retrogressive thinking.
So far, millions of Kenyans have registered to get access to the billions of funds that have been made available by the government via a friendly and affordable loan facility, accessing it via the USSD code *254# through any of the 3 mobile phone numbers Safaricom, Airtel, and or Telecom. Within 14 days, the loan should be cleared. The MPs are also required to be in the forefront in the implementation of recommendations by the Presidential Working Party on education reforms, requesting them to allocate money from the National Government Constituency Development Fund (CDF) for construction of classrooms and laboratories for junior secondary school education. Ojwang Mariam for KUTV Prime Time News.
Thank you very much, Ojwang Mariam, for that report. President William Ruto has dismissed claims that his administration has captured the judiciary. Speaking when he presided over the launch of the inaugural National Council on Administration of Justice annual report at Nairobi on Monday, Ruto says he has not tried in any way to influence judiciary's affairs, even in the face of unfavorable decisions.
President William Ruto has come out to address accusations leveled against him of trying to wield his power to influence the operations of the judiciary. The criticism, which comes mainly from Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga, began after Ruto appointed the 6 judges that were rejected by his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta immediately after assuming office in September. During the launch of the Administration of Justice in Kenya Annual Report 2021-2022 at Nairobi, the president said he has not tried in any way to influence judiciary's affairs, adding that his presence is to support the government arm to carry out its mandates. In addition, President Ruto assured the judiciary of financial support from his administration to boost the delivery of justice, adding that the cabinet will tomorrow consider the pension for judges and the tribunals bill.
I wish to reiterate our pledge that despite prevailing budgetary challenges, we will unlock financial resources necessary to enhance access to justice in terms of infrastructure as well as personnel.
The head of state also undertook to work closely with the judiciary in the county government of Nairobi in establishing 4 small claims court within the county.
I have agreed with the Chief Justice this morning that the pending 4 small claims court in Nairobi, I will talk to the governor of Nairobi so that we can expedite the completion of these courts, because small claims courts are a bottom-up benefit, and therefore, Madam Chief Justice, within the next 90 days, we will give you the 4 courts in Nairobi that have been outstanding.
At the same function, Chief Justice Martha Koome emphasized this need to leverage technology to enhance access of justice and tackle corruption in justice sector in the whole country.
Therefore, during this conference, participants delved on topics such as leveraging technology to enhance access to justice, ensuring that we safeguard human rights in the administration of justice, that we enhance access to justice for the vulnerable groups, and tackling corruption in the justice sector and in our country at large.
Since presidential win, Ruto has been reiterating his support the judiciary in respect to its independence. Jeff Mwangi, KUTV.
The official closing of the Nairobi process of the DRC peace talks has had to be postponed at the last minute after a section of delegates walked out in protest over unpaid allowances and other issues. The week-long talks, spearheaded by former Kenya President Uhuru Kenyatta, brought together representatives of the DRC government, major rebel groups, survivors of the conflict, and civil societies for the first time in the process. The dialogues are meant to create avenues for bringing back peace in eastern DRC, where more than 120 armed groups are fighting.
Na wale ambao wanahusika, musifikirie ya kwamba amani ni kitu ya kucheza naye. Amani sio kitu ya kucheza naye. Wawe hapa, na kama hawatafaulu, mimi sina shida kusimama na kuambia dunia mzima ya kwamba msiwapatie hawa watu pesa tena kama hawawezi kupanga vikao na kutusaidia kwa njia ile ambayo inastahili. Tunaelewana wenzangu? Tumekubaliana wenzangu?
Right, and now on to matters of examination. Eastern Regional Commissioner Evans Achoki has warned students undertaking the Kenya National Secondary Schools examinations, KCSE, and their parents against attempting any form of exam malpractice, saying that the stringent measures have been put in place to ensure the integrity of the exam. Speaking while spearheading the opening and distribution of exams in Mwingi Sub-County at St. Augustine Mwingi Boys Secondary School early yesterday morning, Achoki said that so far not even a single case of exam irregularity has been reported in that eastern region.
We are all here to ensure that the exams is credible and that the results reflect the learners' abilities, and that there is integrity in the whole process.
All right. Educating farmers on the importance of cultivating drought-resistant crops is important in the fight against hunger in Africa. In Kenya, the GPC Fertilizer Company is educating farmers on the best methods of cultivating drought-resistant crops such as millet and sorghum. Now, our reporter Jacqueline Wanjiru has this detailed report.
The GPC company has begun an initiative to educate farmers on the best methods to cultivate drought-resistant crops such as millet and sorghum in order to boost food security in the country. Speaking to more than 300 farmers during the training in Malaba area, South Teso constituency, the GPC director, Joel Kariuki, said that the training was aimed at ensuring that farmers achieve great and adequate crop produce by applying good cultivation and storage methods.
This is the time, hii ndio muda wa change, because we have to change. Tunaona vile mambo ya climate change imekuwa to affect. Umeona kama hizi mbegu zetu, hizi tuko nazo, hizi the seeds we have, ni resistant to drought. Na saa hizi lazima tuende on that way.
The training also touched on how to reduce losses post-harvest as farmers were encouraged to sell their produce to the national crop storages. The farmers expressed their gratitude for the training as they commended the GPC organic fertilizer for boosting their crop production.
Hii mbolea ya GPC ni mbolea mzuri sana. Hasa kwangu mimi mwenyewe nimetumia hiyo mbolea. Na saa hii hata mavuno yenye nimevuna imenifurahisha sana.
So mafunzo ya post harvest ingeweza kufaa sana kwa wakulima wengi wajue kwamba jinsi ya kuweza kutayarisha na kutengeneza hiyo mahindi hadi paka vile inaweza fika kwa gala na kuweka kwa store.
Sorghum and millet are nutrient-rich crops that are also able to grow in the arid and semi-arid areas, making them ideal for boosting food availability while providing money for the farmers. Jacqueline Wanjiru, KUTV.
That is, in a world that is fast driven with rising technology, all life dimensions have no alternative but to respond to the change. This morning, our reporter Irene Mwangi brings us the story of the Drone Space Academy, which equips learners with the skills highly sought in different aspects. Let's have a look.
In many African states, including Kenya, regulation of drone use has remained a slow journey due to high restrictions and retrogressive laws, making the future use of drone technology dim. But for Tony Mwangi, this reality did not deter him from taking a leap of faith and venturing into training in drone technology as a pilot and instructor.
What happened is I looked at the situation and I was like, you know what, I might be working today in one of the productions. Next year, I'm not working. So I took it upon me to, you know what, I need a new skill. And my new skill was going to learn how to fly drones. Of course, flying drones was more of, I wanted to be a cameraman who could actually do aerial filming and photography. But then, of course, when I went for my training, things changed.
After coming back to Kenya from South Africa, Tony's hope was to start the venture of drone technology here in the country. The slow adoption of the drone usage regulation governing the sector made him take a detour as he landed a job in Malawi. In Malawi, Tony tells me drone technology was harnessed to offer solutions such as transporting blood and medical supplies to remote areas.
Then my other role was to train the local people to actually, to be trained to actually take my position. Unfortunately, they could not take my position because Malawi had no drone regulations.
Tony Mwangi had to return back to the country from Malawi in December 2019 due to coronavirus. This created a room of students has been great. His 2-week course